Hello and welcome everybody, this is Aprilia and thank you for watching my 12th video about playing a center in NBA 2K13, and today I bring you the two most spectacular things in the game, the AllStar game, and first some thoughts about dunk packages. Now, as a center you have to distinguish between the two basic categories of dunk packages, the running dunks and the standing dunks. Standing dunks, which are, I believe all of them are called under basket whatever dunk package, are at the beginning of your career more important for you because when you get rebound you will perform standing dunks. So these are the ones that you will be performing more often. And of course some of these, for example the under basket rim pulls, are available to you by default after you create your character. And they are quite flashy, so you don't even have to buy some of the dunk packages to be able to dunk both running and on the basket standing dunks. And just one more thing, whatever dunk package you buy, always experiment with it, because most of them, especially the running dunks of course, include the dribbling part, so they might trigger much further from the basket than you might imagine. And the higher dunk rating you have, the more of this running towards the basket part is included in the dunk package. So if you max out your dunking, you might trigger a dunking animation just 2 steps inside the 3-point line. Now about the dunk packages themselves, these are of course up to your personal taste. Historic Jordan, I don't really like it. Historic Drexler, I also don't really like it. These are too flashy for me as a center, but of course it's up to your taste. Just don't, make sure that you buy some of the subcategories of dunks that I will mention when we get there. So don't forget to buy running dunks, don't forget to buy standing dunks, and don't forget to buy some of the special dunks that you have to buy in order to trigger that kind of animation. So these actually improve your performance in the game. Now these 360s, nothing special, just a flashy move. As you can see, quite expensive because you have to have a high dunk rating. I personally don't use them, but of course it's up to you. And by the way, just a quick note on contact dunks and alley-oops. I don't think that they are actually dependent on the dunk packages that you buy. I believe that if you have a high enough dunk rating and you have any dunk package equipped, then your guy will do contact dunks. I personally have about 68 standing dunk and about, I don't know, 60 dunk, and I don't perform contact dunks at all, but I sometimes do alley-oops. Now spin dunks, one-hand and two-handed spin dunks, are also quite important. They are very expensive because you need to get 80 dunk rating, but these actually unlock a new type of offense for you, because without them you cannot do spin dunks. So I recommend buying one of those. And by the way, one-handed or two-handed version of any dunk doesn't really make a difference. You can make one-handed contact animations and you can miss two-handed dunks just the same. Flashy flushes, I believe they are too much for a center. Under basket athletic flushes, these look really nice, and these are all standing dunks, so if you have the VC for it, then go for it. Reverse dunks, you don't really need those, and I believe you need to trigger them in a certain way. So if you want to be flashy and you don't mind learning an extra move with your left stick while on a fast break or whatever, if you don't mind doing that, then of course go ahead and buy a lot of reverses because they look good. Baseline reverses are again one of the subcategories that you cannot perform without buying any of these baseline dunk packages. This is actually when you run parallel to the baseline, so like you set a screen in the corner and then run towards the basket, get the pass, and if you have these equipped, then you will run under the basket and slam it backwards from the other side. So again, these are animations that actually unlock a new kind of offensive move for you. A quick note on big man dunk packages. These are actually almost the same as the non-big man versions, only your vertical will be lower and the animation is more suited to big men who don't jump as high. Uber Athletic Tomahawks, this is basically the LeBron James signature dunk package. Now these leaning slams, I believe, should be in the historic Jordan package because he did it all the time and they look cool. Back scratchers I really like. As you can see, I already bought the two-handed and the 2 feet version. This is really nice. Now, just about rim hangs in general, keep in mind that your guy will do the animation even if you miss a dunk. So if you are on a fast break, miss a dunk, and the opposing team is already on offense, your guy will still be hanging on the rim. So you are wasting time. And also, this is important, or can be important in the dribble course, drill. If you only have rim hangs equipped, you are again wasting time hanging on the rim. So just keep that in mind. Don't only buy rim hangs. Actually, I haven't checked it, but I believe that under basket athletic flushes are actually twice in the game. So about these last dunks, these athletic dunks, one-handers, these are really cheap, so they are really tempting. Just one thing that I noticed on the PS3, once I bought like 8 dunk packages, including these athletic one-handers, and these were not my go-to dunk package, but still they triggered from all over the court. So they can basically almost override everything else that you have. So what happened for me is even though I had really expensive dunk packages and a lot of them, only these athletic side tomahawks and athletic side one-handers triggered all the time. So I actually had to unequip them. So to actually see some variation. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on or a lot of VC on dunk packages, then I highly recommend these ones because they trigger from all over the court. But if you want, on the other hand, if you want a lot of animation, then I don't recommend them because these tend to override everything. And of course, one last thing, once you buy the dunk packages, don't forget to actually equip them. And apart from your go-to dunk package, the rest of your dunk packages don't really matter what order you equip them. So dunk package 2 and dunk package 7 might trigger just the same. And that's all the tips that I have for you today. As you can see, we have the All-Star game coming up. So enjoy, and I hope to see you next time.
And brought to you by State Farm, a chance here to look at the starting lineups. First, for the East All-Stars, Derrick Rose is out there with Dwayne Wade. And inside, a towering 7-footer, maybe the most imposing big man in the game, All-Star center Andrew Bynum. Then it's Anthony, and it's LeBron in at the 4. And then for the West All-Stars, Kobe is out there with Chris Paul. And at center, the most dominant physical presence in the NBA, the elite defensive big man, Dwight Howard. Then there's Kevin Love, and it's Aldridge in at the 4 slot.
You know, it's always such a big to-do, a major event, a big-time happening every time the All-Star game comes to town. Cities vie to host a big show, and it's a big boon to the local economy.
Yeah, restaurants, hotels, nightlife, it's one big celebration. And there's always that buzz in the air every time the All-Stars gather to play.
You know, one of the things about the All-Star break is that it can provide some much-needed rest for NBA players and coaches and trainers as well, a chance to regenerate and heal up a little bit. Even for those players in the big game, that week off can still be pretty big.
That is good.
Well, I guess you'd call this weekend maybe the greatest pickup game on earth. Does that make sense, Clark?
It sure does, and I agree with you. I mean, there's no doubt it tops the list, partner. In this All-Star game in Houston, perhaps underscoring the hometown Rockets' search for a star-caliber player to lead their team.
Good look. Howard can't hit. He's with the ball, trailing by 10. Rose kicks to LeBron. Rejected by Aldridge. Hit his leg. And they're saying he kicked the ball. Yeah, you know, injuries robbed them of their superstar players. They've taken the hard route to improving, seeking to find undervalued players in free agency, trades, or, Steve, with their later picks in the draft.
Yeah, and so often the fastest way to get good in the NBA is to get bad first, and I mean really bad. But they haven't done that. I mean, they've scrapped, they've been competitive. You've got to give them credit. And no defender was around him to influence that shot. It didn't hurt them there, but, you know, they can't make that mistake twice.
And the officials call over the back, a little too aggressive there.
Well, not the type of thing you're used to seeing in an exhibition game.
Yeah, probably the most dominant defensive presence in the league today. Actually, there's no question about it. He is. He covers so much ground. He's big. He can jump. He anticipates. He just changes the entire team's defensive outlook when he's on the floor.
Yeah, steals, rebounds, and most dramatically blocks shots. He brings an athleticism, does Howard, to the center position that we've not seen in a long time.
Aldridge has got his second basket of the night. Yeah, 94-95, Steve, with the all-time great center, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, and in 95 with Clyde Drexler, both of them, of course, graduates of the University of Houston. How perfect that they should combine to bring the city an NBA title.
And when the players step out on the court, you know, Steve, they know that they're writing their names in the pages of history.
Yeah, they're really making their mark on this Sunday night, but at the same time, you know, they've just got to focus on playing the game. And sometimes you get caught up in the atmosphere and the moment, but for these players, it's all about just focusing on the game and trying to enjoy themselves.
So the West ends up going with the new group. A big group substitution here for the East. Josh Smith, he's checked in for LeBron. Granger comes in for Carmelo Anthony. Dwayne Wade's checked in for Brandon Jennings. And it's Lowry in for Derrick Rose. Harden with it. Wade picks him up.
And in last year's All-Star game, another close one, but another win for the West.
The shot, no good. Here's Lowry. Gives him the lead pass. Oh, get it! Oh, watch out now.
He's giving the fans a show right now, Clark, letting it loose on the rim that time.
Yeah, you can't overlook the fact there's not too much resistance, and I think that extra freedom lets some of the guys really push the limit on the dunk meter. And Dwayne Wade in last year's All-Star game became the third player aside from Jordan and LeBron to post a triple-double in the All-Star game at 24 points, 10 boards, and 10 assists.
Up high to stuff the alley-oop.
How about the nice, exquisite timing on that alley-oop?
It's in total sync right there. You're right.
Very harmonic.
Oh, man, it was beautiful. The pass was delivered right to the hoop. Set up that jam.
And the points coming in bunches, defense and afterthought.
It's like a pickup game, Clark. I mean, these are always shootouts.
No good from Lee.
Would have been lucky to knock that shot down.
Yeah, that kind of shot will definitely get you the high eyebrows from the coach and maybe get you a seat on the bench, too.
Wade, good.
See the show and make yourself heard. Come out and support your hometown Bucks. Thunder is ready to give his best, so get your tickets now. The NBA's Player of the Month is on a tear. Don't miss it.
A great event unfolding, one quarter of basketball already played, and welcome back everyone to this year's coverage of the NBA All-Star Game.
All-Star Game, something to really be proud of, and of course the starters are voted in by the fans, the reserves are voted in by the coaches. Either way, it's a heck of an honor.
Dragic dishes to Aldridge, and taken away by Ellis. Left side Rose. Here's Thunder. Working on Love. Goes up strong with one hand and flushes it down.
And not much resistance on that jam.
Yeah, defensively, you're right. Not a great sequence.
Well, they lost track of them, and they paid the price.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And on one of the great nights of the NBA season, welcome to the All-Star Game and the halftime report here on 2K Sports. A good one in progress for the East All-Stars. They've been relentless attacking the rim, dominating in points in the paint, and the bodies down low have been banging away. Thunder making an impact in this one. He's up to 9 points, and his field goal percentage has been great. A lot of high-quality looks. And no quit in the West All-Stars. They came to win. Garbage points making up the difference, and right now they're sweeping the streets. And that's all there is for me here in the studio. Time to send you back to my friend Kevin Harlan and the crew for the second half.
And we return to the NBA All-Star. And here we go with Kyle Lowry.
Well, I've said before that playing a zone is basically an admission that you're not as good as the other team. But I do like teams that mix it in here and there. Just a small doses of zone to try to keep the offense off balance.
Here's Aldridge. It's hauled in by Smith. Smith's got 4 rebounds in this game.
I think he's got to regroup and get himself together here. I mean, something's gone wrong with him this quarter. He's really fallen off.
And here is Paul. And Steve, to follow up what you were talking about, there is a stigma for going to a zone, but really more and more teams are embracing it.
And I think part of that, Kevin, is that everybody is relying on pick and roll offensively. And pick and roll is so difficult to defend, especially these days with all the three-point shooters teams are putting on the floor. So if you play a zone, it counteracts the pick and roll. And now all of a sudden there's a little chess match going on between the offense and the defense.
Brought back the finger roll. That's a nice finesse move to pull off with the defense all over.
Ellis kicks to Granger. Over Paul. Granger misses.
Good, tough defense there. Getting a hand up, forcing that miss.
Well, he's got the reputation of being a tough defender, and there was an example right there for him.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, nice body control there. Narrowly missing the shot. Would have been a three-point play.
Had a free look at it after the foul. Nice play.
So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Al Jefferson's checked in for Howard. Beasley comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. James Harden, he's checked in for Lee. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Chris Paul. Harden outside. And they will call over the back on the play.
Not much doubt about that over-the-back call.
Yeah, he was all over his back that time. Looked like he was going for a piggyback ride.
And both free throws good for Jefferson. Here's Ellis. So it's the East All-Stars winning this one easily.
And so the East manages to snap the West 2-year win streak in the All-Star game.
And, you know, overall, the East has now won 37 times to the West's 25 wins. They get the bracket.